I was told by doctors my heart would have stopped functioning. At any second, I would have just literally dropped dead. Anywhere.
I did think I was going to die. And all I could think about was my kids and my husband.
I do wonder what would have happened had I not listened that day.
I was born in Pakistan, and my parents decided to move to the UK in 2008.
I come from quite a big family. There's 8 of us all together, brothers and sisters. I now have my own family, 2 daughters.
I'm 65, now retired, I'm glad to say, and enjoying every moment of it.
Hobby-wise, love lots of walking and kayaking and sailing.
I wanted to be an engineer. I did a lot of research. Civil engineering really fascinated me because it's always thinking about the future.
I would say we lead quite a good life.
I was in my final year of university and I started noticing that I was getting palpitations. I could feel, even with a little bit of exertion, I could just see my heart pumping through my T-shirt.
Holding a conversation with people was really difficult. Just I'd get out of breath and I would feel quite embarrassed because I just thought, unfit, unhealthy, got asthma.
I was very jittery, but I couldn't pinpoint why I was anxious. We didn't have any money worries, no family worries.
I didn't tell anyone because I just wanted to handle it myself. I'm sort of a private person and I didn't want to stress anyone out. The first person I told was Shazreen.
We used to go to the same uni for 2-3 years. So we used to see each other all the time and, dropping him off to his classes and he would drop me at mine. Even the first time he told me, the first conversation we had on the phone, it started with, I feel very breathless and I'm trying to sleep. It's 3 a.m. and I can't lie down. I was very worried at that point because I just had a gut feeling, basically, that there is something really wrong.
We were always very close whenever we were young. Our mum said we used to have our own language and we would talk to each other in our sleep.
There's probably not a day goes by that we're not on the phone with each other. We organise everything together.
Talking to her on the phone, I could just tell that she was really struggling. I kept trying to say to her, you need to keep pushing with your GP, that this needs to be sorted. You can't go on like that. It's not a life.
If you know Jenny, I don't say this lightly, but it is a pleasure to be with her. I think I was going off to either play golf or the driving range that morning. When I came down, she was pacing up and down in the living room and she looked very nervous, a little bit emotional. So I said, what's the matter? What are you doing? What's up?
John looked quite shocked, really, because he'd never seen me like that before. It made me think, why was I trying to hide it?
When I was really desperate, I think I said to him, I have to tell your family. If you don't confide in them, I have to reach out to them and I have to tell them because you're not comfortable, but I'm not comfortable seeing you in this state.
I thought, I have to go and see her because she could barely hold a conversation on the phone. And when I went to see her, it was a big shock.
I can remember sitting on the stairs and her nearly behind me trying to help push me up the stairs and her just saying, Nicole, this isn't right.
I did feel a bit angry that she'd let herself get so bad. She should have already been in hospital.
Flattery, I think is the word she used, pointing to her chest. I said, well, you're going to have to say something about this. You're going to have to ring the doctor. We're going to have to get you looked at because it's not my Jenny.
My sister drove me to the hospital because I was told not to drive because of my heart rate. Even at that time, I didn't anticipate how bad it could be.
I was waiting for her to ring me, and she said that I've got heart failure, and I'm getting emotional now. It was very hard to take, and it doesn't just affect her heart, it affected mine as well.
I just thought I was going to die. I felt very alone. I'm frightened, scared. I didn't know what was coming next.
It was just so shocking. He was only 22 and just out of the blue, like nothing to do with heart ever came to our brains. So yeah, I remember like just crying a lot, being very emotional because he was so young.
It was very frightening. Heart failure sounds like your heart is going to stop. I still look back on that I didn't try hard enough to get her to go and get seen sooner.
I was like, okay, at least thank God we got there on time. Had it not been for the diagnosis, we wouldn't have had all these wonderful years we just did have.
So I continued studying. I got my master's degree straight after I was diagnosed. And I've got a beautiful family now. I've got a beautiful wife, a lovely baby, 1-year-old.
I'm doing much better now. The heart function's coming up. Woohoo! There's light at the end of the tunnel now that I've got treatment.
If it hadn't been for John, and I'm so grateful to him, if he hadn't persuaded me to get something done, the story would be so different.
Talk about it. Don't be scared to talk about it.
I think the message would be it's recognising those symptoms. There's lots of talk now about the F word. So fighting for breath, fatigue and fluid retention are three of the big factors.
If it's your loved one, they might not want to listen. They might brush it aside.
When you feel like there's something wrong with one of your loved ones, as harsh as it sounds, you need to ignore them saying, I'm fine.
It's one of the hardest conversations to have in life, but this conversation could save your life as well.